Today we're going to be looking at a Justimon deck profile for BT10. I'm really enjoying it currently. Let's see what you guys think. Well, let's get right into it, shall we? So, with this deck, the main key point that you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to start aiming to build your stack quickly enough so that your opponent can't really build up in time. Yes, I know that's the aim of the game. Stick with me here. You'll see why as we get through it, but as we go through, keep an eye on the security attack stuff, and I'll explain a little combo that I like to do towards the end. So here we go. With the deck, we're going to run the typical black egg. We're going to run the Hopmon. It's literally just when you have a black tamer in play, gain plus 1000 DP. That's really useful for this deck, especially considering we're going to be building DP constantly, and this next card that you'll see, one of our rookies, relies quite heavily on having a certain amount of DP to be able to gain an additional security attack +1. That is the promo Justimon. Now, if you're at 13,000 DP, you obviously gain the additional security attack +1. That's amazing. It's basically a black staple at this point. It's an amazing card, and I cannot wait until they reprint it so that it goes cheaper and I can pick up more copies. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, alongside that, we're going to have, it's going to be a bit odd, but we're going to have 4 EX1 Higurumons. These we're just using as a searcher, really. It's literally just drop 1 machine or cyborg, draw 2. It's that simple. It's a very nice searcher, quite easy, one that allows you to get other Digimon as well and prepare your stack for a little bit later. Alongside that, we're going to run 2 of the Reboot Agumon from BT2. Again, just a nice easy staple for black these days. That's just because it gives reboot. Literally just inherited reboot. That's amazing, especially if you have blockers. Now, albeit blockers in this deck can't attack, but if you do have your Justimon on the stack, for example, and you want to keep it safe, stick a reboot on there, and other than bouncing to hand or whatever, it's pretty much safe. Now, we do have one more rookie, and that is the Monodramon from EX2. This card is absolutely amazing for Justimon. It's literally on play, reveal top 4, take all Tamers to your hand. That's insane. Literally all 4 cards could be Tamers. Now that's our rookies. That's pretty simple. Your main stack these days is either going to want to be Sunrisemon or Toy Agumon. Those are your 2 go-tos when you're digivolving. The others are really just searches, especially with their on-play effects. You're not really going to want to digivolve them unless you have to. So, those are our rookies. Let's move on to our champions. Now, champion number 1, Tankmon. I don't get why people don't run this card more, honestly. It's a 1-cost digivolve. That's so cheap these days. That's so cheap. That's really useful to get your stack up and running, especially in the early game when you're possibly getting memory choked. There's no reason not to run it. Now, alongside that, we're also going to be running 1 of the Grumble, literally just hybrid. Win condition, hybrid for game, sorted, as long as you're at 2 memory. 2 memory and your opponent is at 0, then yeah, it's just your win con. Now, we're running 3 of the Mechanorimon as well. Mechanorimon, an amazing blocker. He might not be able to attack, but that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. He doesn't need to attack. You don't ever want to rest him unless you have to, unless you're going against a green, potentially, where you're getting suspended all the time. But even then, if your opponent swings into it for whatever reason, and it deletes an opposing Digimon, he allows himself to restand, which is amazing. That means that he can possibly get another block off, or something else in the future. But that is absolutely amazing. I love Mechanorimon. We're running 3 of him, and alongside Mechanori, we're running 4 Guardramon. Now, I might swap out these ratios. I might run 4 Mechanori and 3 Guardramon instead. Still tinkering with this deck a little bit, but this is pretty much what I'm going to be running with. Guardramon, again, just another blocker. An amazing blocker, another 6k blocker. However, his inherited effect also allows you to do the same as Higurumon, which is when you're attacking, trash 1 Digimon with Machine or Cyborg, draw 2. More draw power, absolutely amazing, allowing you to draw to get those pieces. Now that is our champions. We're moving on to our ultimates now. There's only 2 different ultimates. You've got your Volcanomon, which is literally if your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, gain security attack +1. Again, absolutely amazing for this deck. We're looking to try and swing for 2-3 checks, maybe 2-3 times a turn. As long as we have the memory, of course, but even then, we're looking amazing. And of course, the staple Justimon, Cyberdramon. Can't go wrong with it. You're just going to run these 2 at 4 of each. And yeah, even his inherited effect for Cyberdramon, absolutely amazing. If you whiff the Rio effect, or if you whiff his When Digivolving effect, sorry, to play the Rio for free, that's not a problem. Not a problem. You don't even need to attack with him, because he's just a 10k presence on the board. He's just there to scare your opponent, honestly. But being able to play a Rio for free, perfect. Perfect, because he allows you to search a Justimon out, or allows you to search a Monodramon out, or something like that. If you're able to play him, that is. So, now we're getting on to the big lads. The level 6s, the Mega cards. Now, I've gone a little bit off the books here, but I'm running 2 Genkumons. These are the BT6 Genkumons. Yes, they are all arts, I like it. But literally, we're just getting more security attack. If your opponent has an unsuspended during your turn, gain security attack +1. No reason not to run him, honestly. And even then, when Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. This man is actually wild. He's very, very good for this deck. It's just amazing. I like it. I like it. On top of that, we're running 2 Blitz Arms. Stable Justimon. You kind of have to run him. There's no reason not to. His When Digivolving, back when EX2 happened, I was running this deck, the original Justimon deck, in Ultimate Cup. And his When Digivolving catches so many people off guard. Because I had 4 Tamers out, and I'm activating When Digivolving 4 times. Which is gain 2000, unsuspend, or delete one of your opponents with play cost of 5 or less. It's amazing. You have to run him for this deck anyway, to be fair. And finally, the other Mega, 2 Justimon Critical Arms. Again, unfortunately, I only have 1 at the moment, but as soon as I get that second, this deck I will be playing to the extent. Now, he evolves for 1 off of Justimon Blitz Arm. Well, it's the only other Justimon currently, so it will be off of Justimon Blitz Arm. But when you Digivolve with him, by returning Justimon Blitz Arm to your hand, you can then delete one of your opponent's cards with play cost of 9 or less, which is phenomenal. It's just an upgraded version of Blitz Arms when Digivolving. Now again, when attacking, when he swings for an attack, you can Digivolve back into Blitz Arm. That Blitz Arm that you've just added back to your hand, Digivolve again. For 2 cost as well, mind you. For 2 cost. There's nothing wrong with that, honestly. But then you get to activate his when Digivolving again, which more often than not, you will want to unsuspend him. You're Digivolving him, unsuspend him, because you've Digivolved. It's a new card. So what? It's insane. I'm looking forward to what comes in EX3 with the 3rd Justimon arm. That's going to replace Ganku probably, or we're going to run 1 crit, one of the new, something like this. That's something that we'll have to explore when the time comes, but as of right now, we're looking at a 2-2-2. Yeah, okay, maybe we can get rid of Ganku and go 3-3. That's down to you at that point if you want to run that, but this is currently what I'm running. This is currently what I think will work really, really well. But we'll have to see. Finally, as our level 7, as our saving grace, of course, we've got to run Chaosmon. Well, you haven't got to, let's be real. But we are going to run the Chaosmon. Because he has a lovely piercing, he can unsuspend himself, get a technical blitz, as I like to call it. Because he gets to swing again and attack and unsuspended. Gets piercing. It's kind of mad. It's kind of mad. But yeah, that's kind of our secondary win condition. Now moving on to the options. We'll run 1 Congo. Very nice. Very nice. It's just a nice thing to prolong a turn, keep survivability for a turn. Something like that. Something like that. Just to annoy your opponent. Don't know why I've done that, but next up we're running 2 Black Memory Boosts. Again, more searches. No reason not to. it's memory as well. Kind of just a staple. A very, very nice black staple. Now we will also, a very odd card here, but we will run 2 laser eyes. Now these come from starter set 5, or starter deck 5, and it's de-digivolve 2 of your opponents for 4 cost. That's literally it. Not amazing, but it's a de-digivolve 1. Say if your opponent's at maid mode or something, and they swing in, hit this, they're losing that maid mode. Say if somebody somehow digivolved into DeathX, for example, right? Hypothetical. He hits that insecurity or whatever, boom bang, he's gone. That DeathX is gone. It's just a nice little option that I thought would be good. Finally, we're running 1 Justice Kick. I feel like you don't need any more than just 1. This is massive because it's for every tamer that you have, reduce its cost by 1. Yes, it's a 12 cost. It's so expensive. I don't even think it's worth running it at this point. But you get to play 1 Justimon from your hand without paying its play cost. If you somehow had 6 tamers, you're playing a Justimon for 6. Just raw. And then you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Lower. Is it lower? Yes, it's lower. With a play cost less than or equal to that Justimon that you played. So for example, if you play the crit arm off of this, you can delete something that's 11 or less. If you play the blitz arm off of this, you can delete something that's 12 or less. Just something like that. It's nice to just get another Justimon out. And even in security, play 1 tamer from your hand without paying its play cost, then add this to your hand. So you get this in your hand even if it's in security. So it's quite good. That's why I only think you run it as a 1-of though, because it's kind of just one of those emergency sort of situations. But I think Attack of the Heavy Machinery or whatever, the Raidenmon one, is probably a little bit better. That's something that needs to be tossed up. Now we're finally getting into the home stretch here. We're going to be looking at the Tamers. Of course, you've got to run 2 Kazus. Literally, if you just have a cyborg or machine in play, you gain 1 memory. No reason not to run it. Also allows you to drop 1, draw 1 if you're attacking with a cyborg. If you attack with Justimon, drop a card that you don't want, draw 1, drop 1. So, very special. Very niche, especially for cyborg decks. Then we're getting into something that I spoke to a couple of people at my locals yesterday about. I run 2 of the black BT2 ties. Now, he is your memory setter, so he'll give you 3 memory at the beginning of the turn no matter what. Very nice. But then it's the opponent's turn, all of your black Digimon gain 1000 DP. I won't argue, it's very nice. Especially when it comes to your blockers. Where are they? When it comes to your blockers, a lot of the time, if you're going up against red decks, it'll be delete something that is 6000 or less. Delete something that is X amount or less, right? Tie just bumps up your blockers on your opponent's turn if they play something that is delete X DP or less. If you have both of these out, you're going up to 8k DP blocking. With Mechanori, that's amazing. Because you block for 8k, that's like half the cards that your opponent has gone, probably. Excuse me. But yeah, that's the memory setter that I run. And then finally, you've got to run 3 of the Rio. No reason not to. Again, he's your searcher. He's your searching tamer that allows you to search for a Justimon or a Dramon. Literally, absolutely amazing. Plus, you get to play him for free more often than not off of Cyberdramon's Digivolve. There's no reason not to run Rio. So, with that in mind, that's the profile that I have been concocting and will be running. But let's get into a quick little combo. So, if you're running, well, you'll be running Hotmon. Let's say you Digivolve into Sunrisemon. We'll get one of these blockers out. We'll have Cyberdramon, and then we'll start with Blitz Arm. Let's say we had this. Let's say we had 1 of each tamer out on field. With 1 of each tamer, We have the Blitz arm, and we have the Crit arm in hand. So, let's say hypothetically, you've somehow started your turn with Justimon Blitz arm already played in the stack, right? You've got your full stack, you're ready to go. Turn begins. So, swing 1. First of all, you have 2 or more Tamers, so you get to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Perfectly fine. You can drop 1, draw 1 if you draw 2, sorry, if you so wish. That's perfectly fine. However, you now move on to your Justimon here. Alright, yeah, he's at 12k thanks to Hotmon, but literally, is when attacking, activates when digivolving. So, what you'll do is you'll unsuspend 1. That's literally your first Tamer. Unsuspend. That's fine. Gain plus 2,000 DP, putting him to 14,000. That triggers Sunrisemon, allowing you to gain the security attack plus 1. That's amazing. And then you can either give yourself more power if you don't think you're going to make it, because you'll be going up to 16,000, or you can pop one of your opponent's Digimon if so required. That's up to you, that's depending on what the game state is currently when it comes to it. Now that's amazing. You've just swung for 14 or 16,000. You can even tap the Rio as well, by the way, to give yourself an additional 1,000. So possibly even 14, 15, 16, 17,000 DP. 2 checks as well, thanks to Sunrisemon. That's amazing. So as long as Justimon doesn't get deleted here, we're going to digivolve for 1 into Crit Arm. We'll then activate Crit Arms when digivolving. Add Justimon, Blitz back to hand. It's perfectly fine. And then we're able to swing again. We swing again. I do believe, unfortunately though, that means that you cannot activate Cyberdramons when attacking again, so he's out the window. You can do Guardiamon it again if you so wish. You don't have to. It is a you may. Just declare what you're doing. You still have the plus 2,000, plus 4,000 from there. You still have the plus 1,000 off of Rio. So again, you're swinging for possibly 14, 15, 16, 17,000 DP. 2 checks once again. So that's just, you've just done 4 damage. Again, as long as he survives. However, when attacking off of the critical arm, you may digivolve into Justimon Blitz for 2 memory. That's amazing, because that's just a 3 memory and you've done 4 damage currently. However, when digivolving, unsuspend. No reason not to. No reason not to. Now if you had the tie out, you've literally just spent 3 memory getting to this point. Your opponent's taken 4 damage. That's fine. You can swing again with Blitz Arm. Activate the effect again, you're doing whatever. Tamer 1, you'll want to restand. No reason, literally no reason not to restand here. Tamer 2, gain more damage if you want, pop more things, do whatever. Tamer 3, the same. You're possibly swinging for over 20,000 DP at this point. Overkill, massively. Again, unless DeathX is on the field, but you know, whatever. There we go. Your opponent takes that final hit. Swing for game. There we go. You've just OTK'd with Justimon for 3 or 6 memory. Yeah, okay, that's an ideal world where you were already in Justimon, but you just add an additional 3 memory. So maybe it's a 2-turn thing, maybe it's a 3-turn thing, maybe... It all depends on what the board state is, but that's your ideal combo. You're going to have Blitz Arm, swing, digivolve into Crit Arm off of the unsuspend, return Justimon, swing, digivolve for 2 into Blitz Arm, unsuspend when digivolving, swing, unsuspend when attacking, swing. It's fast paced. I don't know what else to say. I am just in love with how this deck runs. I've just got to do a few more tweaks, like I said, with the rookies, with the blockers potentially, but that's what I'm looking at currently. And I hope if you guys build this, then I hope you enjoy it too. I'm loving constructing this deck, especially because it's Justimon once again. I played it in EX2, couldn't get enough of it. I cannot wait for EX3 where we see even more. As of right now, that's what I have to do, and I'll post on Twitter how it goes. Follow me there.